You are live with Dr. Chapa. Good morning, good day, good evening, whatever time it is, you are on the Dr. Chapa Wellness Show, and I'm excited to share some tips, some tricks, some secrets of a mineral that is oftentimes overlooked, myself included. I have overlooked this mineral many a time in my practice, and it's been right under my nose, really right under my nose. It's amazing how powerful minerals are in the world today, where we are constantly eating processed food, junk food, and the processed junk food is essentially depleting your body of key nutrients, key ingredients. And then when people do buy over-the-counter vitamins and supplements, they don't realize that the supplementation that they're taking in is no different than a coal tar derivative, or it's some sort of fake make-believe substance that isn't serving the greater good of their humanity, their body, their physiology, their brain. Magnesium is a topic that is oftentimes overlooked because, again, it can't be that simple, your heart palpitations. It can't be that simple, muscle cramps and aches and pains in your body. I mean, after all, you're just getting older, right? Well, see, that's what they're telling you. And that's what I want you to really grab hold of, is that it's not just about you getting older. It's about your body's depletion. It's about your body's restoration. It's your body needing the balance added back to in the form of supplementation. And today, if there's not enough magnesium, or if there is synthetic magnesium in the soil, you're getting a fake version of what God intended for you to have. So what do you have to do? You have to be astute. You have to look deeper. You have to figure out what is it about minerals and vitamins and supplementation that you need to incorporate into your life. I get different docs' opinions on this all the time over the years, especially in the medical community, that call themselves functional. And they think that supplementation is a farce, that you can get everything from animal protein, you can get everything from plants and fruits and whatever grows out of the soil. And the reality is that's just not true. I would just contest that when a person goes on a good quality diet, Whole30, keto, or carnivore, or grain-free, or the 4 deadly food additive free, or the 4 inflammatory food program free. I teach all these and have for 21 years. When you go on a diet like that, and the reason you get better is not because of the food choices you're making, it's what you're avoiding. It's what the food choices you're avoiding that's giving you the results. When you get sugar out of your diet, your life is going to be better. Period. End of discussion. When you get processed food, packaged foods, junk foods out of your diet, your life is going to be better. It's your life, it's your healthier choice. You eat make-believe food, the best you'll ever have is make-believe health. You've got to grab hold of that. When you get that, you start to realize that it's your life, your health, your choice, and you have to make good choices day in and day out. And so I come on the Dr. Chapa Wellness Show every week, teaching people different concepts and practices, and the information's gold. It's rich. It's mineral rich. Couldn't have planned that better. And that just rolled right off the tongue. So let's sit back, let's dial in, and let's learn a thing or two about minerals. I could talk about all kinds of minerals. Like, for example, did you know zinc has over 300 enzymatic functions in your body? Estimated that magnesium has 700 functions in your body. I have a product in the office. It's a plant-based multiform magnesium, which we'll kind of get into subject matter here in just a little bit about what that really means. But essentially, that a multiform magnesium has your mag-glycinate, it has your mag-threonate, it has your mag-lactate, it has your mag-citrate, all built into it. How do they do that? This is particularly grown this way from certain plants and vegetables out of the soil that is rich and nutrient dense in these key types of magnesium. A multiform magnesium is hard to come by, and it does. They mislabeled the product. Instead of calling it Easy Mag, they should have called it 650 different pathways. I don't know of a good name for it, but it stimulates over 650 pathways in the body. Magnesium, like many minerals, are like fuel sources. If you don't have all the cylinders firing on all 8 cylinders, your fuel sources are depleted, and then you're going to start spitting and sputtering down the lane of health, and you're going to find yourself on the pitfalls of symptom land. So let's just say it's cramping. That's an easy one everybody's familiar with. But what about heart palpitations? I mean, you realize your heart is a muscle, right? And if your heart is a muscle and you're getting a cramp in your leg, that is an indication that you're running on fumes. And thank God your heart gets first dibs on all nutrition, because the last thing you want to do is to have a cramp in your heart. Chew on that just a second. You have a cramp in your heart, it could be the end of you. So your body would rather sacrifice your arms, hands, your feet, and legs to protect the heart. So what happens if the magnesium is low and you see depletion in the brain? You might find anxiety. You may find depression. You may find other biological key functions not working like they're supposed to. And then if you don't have calcium and magnesium in abundance, your immune system suffers. That's what we're trying to get people to realize, that it's so many little things, and thank God you don't have to manage all of them, but you do need to be mindful of what you're putting in the form of supplementation, and do a good job of giving your body resources and tools day in and day out so that it's never faced with something so easy to address. And that's where we really start this wellness journey. The body's silent alarms. Symptoms give the body signals for you to interpret mentally, emotionally, physically, so that you don't allow them to turn into more than just a warning sign. When your cells lack critical ingredients, you don't relax. You can't unwind. You feel wound up all day, every day, all night, through the night. Wicked, wild, bizarre, funky, exotic dreams. You are seeing your body not being able to stay asleep during a night cycle. You wake up several times a night to pee. You wake up in the morning more restless than when you went to bed. Your body then goes into the next day with a shorter fuse, and sooner or later the symptom just escalate. So instead of having just painful cramping, now you're getting palpitations. Palpitations, or maybe worse, flip-flop in your chest. The Kentucky heartbeat. That's dangerous. That's bad. That's a B vitamin deficiency mixed with mineral issues. That's when you're really starting to get it. So if you have cramps, aches, anxiety in the legs, feet, arms, hands, guess what? Your minerals are low. Your body is signaling and warning you, dude, mayday, mayday. You got to pay attention to this. It's not just in your family gene code. It's not just because you work outside. Yes, Texas heat. You can burn through some minerals in a Texas outdoor activity. Whether you're playfully out fishing on a water park or mowing the grass. If you are doing outdoor activity, your mineral demands go up. So therefore, at the end of one of my daughter's volleyball games, some of the girls were getting signs of nosebleeds. Well, that's a calcium magnesium deficiency. Did you know? The arteries weren't able to heal and recover with the amount of blood flow running through those veins and arteries, and those tissues began to break down. Wow, that is kind of cool, right? That you can regulate nosebleeds with calcium and magnesium. Absolutely, positively, surely. No doubt about it. Anything your body can develop, it can undevelop, and you've got to really grab hold of that. Constant tightness in your body. You feel like you're just carrying all that stress in your shoulders, or your jaw is so TMJ-ish all the time. Your neck is stiff, and you go to the chiropractor and it just won't adjust ever, or you don't hold adjustments. Sometimes you go and it doesn't seem like it lasts long. I had this one guy say, well, it doesn't ever work. By the time I get back to the office, it's already gone. I don't even know why I come. morning, good day, good evening, whatever time it is, you are on the Dr. Chapa Wellness Show, and I'm excited to share some tips, some tricks, some food additive free or the 4 inflammatory food program free. I teach all these and have for funky exotic dreams. You are seeing your body not being able to stay asleep during a night cycle. You wake up several times a night to pee. You wake up in the morning more restless than when you went to bed. Your body then goes into the next day with a shorter fuse and a shorter fuse, and sooner or later the symptom just escalate. So instead of having just painful cramping, now you're getting palpitations. Palpitations, or maybe worse, flip-flop in your chest. The Kentucky heartbeat. That's dangerous, that's bad. That's a B vitamin deficiency mixed with mineral issues. That's when you're really starting to get it. So if you have cramps, aches, anxiety in the legs, feet, arms, hands, guess what? Your minerals are low. Your body is signaling and warning you, dude, mayday, mayday. You gotta pay attention to this. It's not just in your family gene code. It's not just because you work outside. Yes, Texas heat. You can burn through some minerals in a Texas outdoor activity. Whether you're playfully out fishing on a water park or mowing the grass. If you are doing outdoor activity, your mineral demands go up. So therefore, at the end of one of my daughter's volleyball games, some of the girls were getting signs of nosebleeds. Well, that's a calcium magnesium deficiency. Did you know? The arteries weren't able to heal and recover with the amount of blood flow running through those veins and arteries, and those tissues began to break down. Wow, that is kind of cool, right? That you can regulate nosebleeds with calcium and magnesium. Absolutely, positively, surely. No doubt about it. Anything your body can develop, it can undevelop, and you've got to really grab hold of that. Constant tightness in your body. You feel like you're just carrying all that stress in your shoulders, or your jaw is so TMJ-ish all the time. Your neck is stiff, and you go to the chiropractor and it just won't adjust ever, or you don't hold adjustments. Sometimes you go and it doesn't seem like it lasts long. I had this one guy say, well, it doesn't ever work by the time I get back to the office. It's already gone. I don't even know why I come. And I said, well, dude, how much alcohol do you drink on a weekend? Well, let's not talk about that, Dr. Chapa. Let's not discuss my lifestyle. Well, that's what you're here for, because it isn't simply me fix your bad behavior. Ooh, I don't want to be mean. But the reality is I can't make sugar good for you. I don't have a vitamin that makes alcohol okay. There's a price to pay. So if you choose to do these things and you continue to walk down symptom lane, it's going to turn into something more than a physical warning sign. It's going to turn into disease. And constant tightness all through your body, or especially in the tensions of the neck and upper cervical or neck region into the head, cervical base tension, headaches, all these things are signs. Or Adelaide just come in last week and first visit, and her eye twitching is so bad. That's why she came in. I had this one guy come in, I was shocked. He was literally 28 years old, and he came in because of this very concept, cramping, tightness all throughout his body. He couldn't get it to stop. And in 21 years, I've never had anybody come in simply for body cramping. Why did he come to me? Why did he just keep taking Tylenol? So impressed that he came in. And literally, it was 2 visits. He was done. He was fixed, 100%. And never had a problem since. Still takes 1 or 2 multi-minerals and keeps his magnesium and his nighttime Dr. Chapa friendly sleep plan put together. And guess what? He's symptom free. And he's going to be. And he then went through major trauma and stress, through the passing of a loved one, and he was better equipped to handle such stress because we got his mineral levels balanced. Neurological spikes, sudden heart flutters. These are the bigger things. Racing thoughts, you can't slow down the mind. Distressing feeling of being wired all the time, tired all the time. Nothing seems to calm you down. These are signs that your body is setting off alarms, and you best be paying attention. The magnesium phenomenon is such that magnesium has been taken over the consumer health landscape, and utilizing these mineral supplementation can be a very good thing. I've seen a lot of people bring in magnesium. They said, since I started taking magnesium, it's been working. Well, that's good. So let's jump into what can you do to get your body past the desires of toxic drink, processed food, packaged food, and you've just got to get a little bit more creative. We use electrolytes and salts in our office. We use the non-injectable peptides to help target some of these weaknesses and deficiencies in the body. We make teas, we make flavored drinks and popsicle sticks for our kids to suck on and enjoy. But interestingly, if you don't simply pay attention to the label, it's not as simple as just buying a magnesium. A lot of times people go out and buy something like magnesium oxide, which there's this great stuff out there called oxy powder. And it is non-absorbable calcium. It's magnesium bound to the wrong substrate. It ain't the magnesium as much as it's the magnesium oxide is not absorbable, and the water from the body flushes into the bowels and you get a bowel release. This type of magnesium or mineral processing is a cheap supplement that buyers need to realize are not as absorbable. We've got to get chelated nutrients in. We've got to get nutrients tailored and bound to different mineral salts so that your brain goes, ooh, that's attractive, I want that. Or the heart goes, ooh, that looks really nice, I need that. That's what you want the muscle tissue to communicate. Suck that stuff up, activate the tissues that were weak before, now they become strong and mighty, and all of a sudden you become a mineral enhanced human being. Mineral. Something that should be natural. The fallacy of isolated minerals. Like I always love talking about vitamin C. There's a great book that kind of has a visualization of this. It's called Getting Back to the Basics of Health and Nutrition. Getting Back to the Basics of Health and Nutrition by Mary Frost. And she talks about every vitamin is the same way. Vitamin E, whether it's zinc, or in this case, I'm going to talk about vitamin C. Vitamin C in nature is a citrus plant, right? And of course, rutin, and there's other, types of vegetables that have vitamin C in it as what we call a food complex. Man got real clever, and they learned how to extrapolate out, like with a needle, the ascorbic acid. And all of a sudden, they started selling this vitamin C in the form of ascorbic acid. I believe it was Linus Pauling is the one that really started going after this, and they were trying to cure a blood disorder known as scurvy, or in the olden days, Lyme's syndrome on the ships coming across the Great Sea. And they couldn't cure scurvy with vitamin C in the form of ascorbic acid because it was an isolated part of what God intended to give you as a complex of nutrients. So the man goes, well, no problem. We like playing God all the which way to Sunday. So we're going to build our own vitamin C. And so essentially they took what ascorbic acid looked like under a microscope and they started manufacturing their own using things like coal tar derivatives, the same stuff they patch roads with, and other inert substances that were really useless to the body, but they were molecularly able to extrapolate out what looked to be vitamin C, but it was a left-handed molecule versus the vitamin C out of nature, a right-handed molecule. Again, we're talking about isolated nutrients do not supply. So this could be magnesium, B6, B12, vitamin C, vitamin D, omegas, all this stuff matters, right? Isolated nutrients do not have a high absorption rate. And as a matter of fact, they can deplete the body of key nutrients. And yes, the body knows the difference between its left and its right. So don't try to trick it with a left-handed molecule and call it vitamin C, which is what they do when you see something of 1,000, 2,000 or plus milligrams of vitamin C. When you look at this stuff, and you may even start to see things like bioflavonoids as a form of vitamin C. And that's because the science has evolved and they're now extrapolating another part of God's creation called bioflavonoids. But in the book by Mary Frost, Getting Back to the Basics of Health and Nutrition, she talks about vitamin C is indeed surrounded by a ascorbic acid layer. And yes, inside the complex of vitamin C complex from citrus and other sources of whole foods, There is tyrosinase, an enzyme that helps to break down the vitamin C, unpack it so that it's used effectively. There's vitamins packed in the complex called vitamins P, K, and J. Many people have never even heard of these things. Some people are starting to hear about K, vitamin D with K2 or whatever. So it is coming out. Again, science is evolving, and we're using these dissections, if you will, at a molecular level, which I think is phenomenal, cool science. But we cannot expect the body to build off of a single isolated nutrient. There's other cofactors, there's other flavonoids, there's other things inside the complex that we can clearly see, but we don't have a name for or an understanding thereof. Therefore, why extract it? We can run experiments on it if we're just exploring the landscape. We don't even know what we're looking at in a lot of these instances. Fascinating. So essentially, isolated minerals, which is why you have to know something about vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, or the type of herbals that you're taking, or the quality of teas that you're drinking, because they have a low absorption rate. So we call it the low absorption trap. The signal mineral myth is another one. Consuming high dose magnesium in isolation without considering other cofactors depletes the body of other key ingredients in the complex. Your body needs the whole complex in order to pull out what it needs and to plug in what it needs. I kind of equate it to what you saw in the movie Apollo 13, where they sent up the lunar module and the ship together. Then they had to undetach it and reverse it and then plug it into a different porthole, so to speak, on the mothership. Interesting. So I look at the same kind of concept. Or another easy concept you can grab hold of is if your delivery truck brings a package to your front door, but you never bring the package in. Is the package of worth or value? No. What if they bring the package outside the box and it's broken? Well, it's because they took it out too early. It didn't make it in your house for you to unpack and then use whatever it was you purchased. The same goes with single mineral myth concepts. You deplete your body's own vitamins P, K, and J, cofactors, flavonoids, in order to utilize the vitamin C in the form of high dose ascorbic acid in this case, or it could be alpha, beta, gamma tocopherols and vitamin E, or even synthesized omegas in the form of essential fatty acids. Although the concept is right, the delivery mechanism is wrong. The deficiency illusion, taking supplements while ignoring the metabolic dysfunction that you already have in your body. If your body has a stomach problem, if your absorption rate is low in the stomach, if you're not excreting waste, trash, toxins, waste, and debris, you have essentially a leaky bucket or a deficiency because of breakdown in organ. We call that organ dysfunction. So true relief requires correcting the root cause issue. I had a guy come in, severe anxiety, severe depression, severe obsessive compulsive disorder. He was constipated. He was eating the 4 deadly food additives. He was eating the 4 most common inflammatory foods. So we supported the cleansing of the gut. Sometimes just cleaning out the gut resets everything. I just cleaned out my ice machine. I clean out my dog's bowl. I change out my air filters. I rotate my tires. I do maintenance on my world around me everywhere. Why wouldn't our body need, especially in today's world where most of the food you're getting access to, has pesticides. Most of your homes are more toxic inside in the air quality than outside. Most of you are drinking garbage water or putting aluminum, based things on your underarms and body care products in your hair and your face. These are all building up the bioburdens and are causing the deficiencies to occur, but because the organs are being polluted. Isn't that kind of cool? You can fix this, and that's good news. So wherever you land on this spectrum, so don't fall into the trap, the fallacy of isolated nutrients. You've got to learn a little bit about what you're taking and what it's doing. So calcium and calcium ions, man, the spark of contraction, right? Calcium acts as the primary chemical signal within muscle cells. It binds directly to cell receptors. Interesting, so you have to have it. It is one of, if not the, between him and magnesium, the most abundant 2 minerals in the body, and it initiates contraction. of the muscle. Structural tension can go away. Nosebleeds, like I said earlier, immunity can be stimulated. The body needs it at the bone level. Wow. So without calcium, muscle movement is impossible. Without magnesium, muscles cannot relax. They counter what calcium does. It's like a give and take, a braking system. When one thing punches, the other retracts it. So you get this kind of nice dance back and forth. It functions as a biological pump, magnesium. It pushes calcium back out of the intracellular space with it, which permits the muscle fibers essentially to return back to a calm state. So I was watching this cool little AI video on how combustion works in a piston and all the different parts that requires the injection of fuel, the injection of a spark, the release of the carbon monoxide, so that you can get this gaseous and fire-ish exchange at rapid fire. Wow. The same thing is happening at the biological level. You have synaptic activity that stimulates the muscles, that then opens these channels that have adequate calcium, that have adequate magnesium to dance in the space after it releases, and you get these constant, and the muscles are able to contract and relax regularly. Interesting, right? So you need a spark, and you need the relaxation piece. So for everything to bounce back out. So that we call it the relaxation duet, the contractile power. The consequence of the calcium trap is most diets are heavily skewed toward processed calcium. Again, calcium carbonate. Going back to Frost's book on getting back to the basics of health and nutrition. If you eat calcium carbonate, it's basically like trying to digest seashells. Good luck. We're not designed to do that. Consuming massive levels of calcium in this form causes the cell structures to accumulate, aka kidney stones, or other major blockages in the tissues. So this could be contributing to atherosclerosis, which could be creating essentially clot-like factors, or bone spurs, or bunions. I mean, name the tissue, and you can almost find that calcium is being built up in that area in some way when the wrong calcium is being delivered. You cannot function on calcium carbonate. It has to go through too many 11 to 12 chemical reactions before your body can use it. It's like those little toys you used to buy for your kids, and there's like 72 like twisty ties and rubber bands and everything else under the sun that keeps you from getting access to the toy. It takes you 12 minutes to unpack the thing. Gracious me. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Barbie doll's hair is perfect, but the need to be that overcomplicated, well, you cannot break down 11 to 12 chemical reactions. Most people, even if they could, most people today have such dysfunctional digestion at the stomach level, not even at the quality of calcium they're consuming, just at the ability of their stomach to break down that many things that fast, they can't do it. So the type of calcium, the type of magnesium that you get into matters. The biological trap locks the muscle fibers in continuous microcontraction, fueling physical pain, like ow. At first time I ever saw a YouTube on cramping, just look it up, muscle cramps. It's hilarious, right up until you realize these people are genuinely suffering, or if you've suffered yourself, then it's not really funny. And it hits you. It's hilarious right up until it's not. When it's you being levitated out of your bed in the night, that is no good. When you can't fall asleep, that's essentially like a brain cramp. Your mind is racing and reeling with thoughts, and all of a sudden your sympathetic fight or flight response system is left unchecked, leaving you in distress. Oof. So the cost of mineral imbalance is great. I always like to say, if I could put minerals into every care plan, with essential fatty acids into every care plan, I would bank on it that most of the jobs that aren't getting done day in and day out would be handled well, and then all of a sudden the body would respond better. And when your body is then exposed to toxins, which we're all going to get exposed to toxins, we will have a reserve of nutrients to counter the effects of the mineral deficiency because we are not deficient, okay? So calming the overactive mind. Wow, you can't fall asleep, it takes you more than 10 minutes to fall asleep, more than 7 minutes to fall asleep, more than 3.5 minutes to fall asleep. You ought to be considering your mineral balance. Yep, minerals are that important. You want a strong immune system? Minerals. You want good quality recovery? Minerals. You want detoxification? Minerals. You want your heart to be effective and functional? Minerals. I mean, is it more than that? Yes. But do you want it for your brain to be calm, cool, and collected? Or do you like feeling stressed? Do you like feeling like you have no control over your thoughts? Magnesium is awesome as it sits directly inside the ion channel of the what they call NMDA brain receptors. They behave essentially like physical guards, preventing excessive calcium influx into the nerves, into the neurons. When cellular magnesium drops, calcium rushes into the neurological system unchecked. That's not good. And then this overexcites the tissues, driving that fight or flight response. And when you drive it continuously, your heart rate goes up, left unchecked, you start getting heart palpitations. You get hyperanxiety in the chest, deep sternal chest pains, the flip-flop or the Kentucky heart rhythm, that flip-flop, scary things. Then you start getting overwhelmed more easily, short fuse, things that used to be able to be handled effectively aren't being handled well. Sleep matters. And if you're not getting good amounts of calming minerals to the brain, you're never going to get a deep sleep. And when you don't get good deep sleep, guess what happens? Your mind will not recover, regenerate, take a bath, detoxify, log yesterday's learned behavior into long-term storage, and it leaves you wishing that you had a better brain. And in fact, you're just minerals deficient. You're minerally deprived, and your tissues are overheating, and your body cannot keep up. You've got to get this mineral ion shield right. So bioavailability and uptake matters. If you have magglycinate, for example, and have high blood pressure, this is an excellent magnesium source. Glycinate. If you have a sense where you are cramping a lot and it takes you a long time to fall asleep, magglycinate again. Mag-threonate crosses over the blood-brain barrier. So this super high nutrient changes mental acuity, mental focus. Instead of leaving you ADD and ADHD, guess what it leaves you? Calm, cool, and collected, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Magnesium malate soothes muscle fatigue and boosts cellular ATP. Well, what is ATP? It's cellular money, adenosine triphosphate. It is a spin into cellular money printing. Without it, cells don't communicate. They communicate through business interactions and exchanges, just like you probably do in your world. So take this in the morning for physical endurance and muscle repair, and boom, shakalaka, you're gonna feel really good. Mag-lactate would be in the same category. Magnesium oxide is all about just driving water into the bowels and flushing the bowels and allowing essentially a laxative. One of my patients likes to always say is magnesium assisted. She poops well every day. And right now, because she's new to the program, that's where we start. I'm okay with that, because her having a bowel movement gives me time to cleanse the tissue, to enhance the absorption rate, seal up any leaky gut activity that's happening in the gut, and then see the body increase in its neural production of neurotransmitters, GABA, serotonin, acetylcholine, all these different type of catecholamine neurotransmitters. Or better yet, I want the gut lining to manufacture for me B vitamins so that I can run things like good joint contractibility in my full body skeleton from head to foot, toes to nose. You've got to drive in the right biological sources that your body can perceive and recognize as valuable. So this is a little cool graph that you can take a picture of just to get you an idea. I sell both of these. I have a powdered version of the glycinate that's super tasty, works great at night, especially if your bowels do need a hit, or you have heart palpitations, or you're finding yourself more constipated than not, and your high blood pressure is out of control. Glycinate. Your mind is racing, you're more prone to depression, anxiety, that support it with mag-threonate all day, every day. And then if you're constantly working out and needing that recovery, we want to bring in the morning for physical endurance the mag malate. Only use the mag oxide if something that we have already been trying to do to get your bowels to run effectively isn't working. And yes, great tool. I'd rather you be a little bit on the looser side, knowing that you're putting magnesium into the program, or I've got better quality ones than this, that will allow cleansing to happen, which will ultimately give me an opportunity to seal and heal the gut and repair the gut and get manufacturing to happen and get better detoxification to happen. Your body wins even better at the biological, bioavailable level when we get that uptake up. Audit your calcium intake. Assess your daily, dairy and supplemental routines. Here's the deal. When you reduce uncomplexed calcium that keeps muscle fibers locked up tighter in a drum. And by the way, if you still think milk is doing a body good, it's a farce. It's a lie. You can't use milk products to drive healthy health. If you want healthy bodies, strong bones, then calcium needs to be consumed from animal products, vegetables, or other sources, non-dairy. When you're putting in dairy, guess what's going to happen? Your body is going to be more inflamed. Your gut is going to be more irritated. Your immune system is going to be more sluggish because of the mucilaginous, snail-like sludge that builds up in the tissues. When we select the right chelated formulations, what happens is these magnesium glycinate molecules, malate molecules, threonate molecules are more guaranteed to be attracted by the cell structures and see less stomach irritation and more muscular output and physiological impacts. Your body will better be equipped in order to thrive in a world that's depleted. So synergize with cofactors. Maximize absorption by ensuring balanced intake of vitamin D, vitamin K2, active vitamin B6, like we mentioned earlier, to be a guide for mineral and joint, muscle, synovial capsule inflammation reducers. Synergizing with cofactors is huge. This is why it's not simply a magnesium conversation. Yes, we're isolating today's talk on magnesium, but there's just so much more. Maximize the absorption, drive function, get the other factors in like vitamin D, essential fatty acids, the K2, and watch what happens. You're going to get bang for your buck that you'd never got before. You're going to see balance and stress-induced help come online. You're going to be more able to tolerate life and life's challenges. So chronic stress empties vital magnesium reserves, leaving your mind to run off the rails consistently. Pair minerals with deep breathing, good water salt hydration, and a good non-inflammatory diet. You're going to see better sleep, deeper sleep, better quality detoxification. Not to say that you don't need to be on a detox program regularly. I mean, we just live in a different world where we're literally banning, products to spray on our food, but then we export the banned materials to other countries, and then we export the materials that we just banned, that they're now spraying on their food, back into our country, and we're eating these processed sprayed chemical compounds. And that sounds like a brilliant idea. Not really. And so balanced stress-induced dumping. You've got to get stress under control. Every patient that comes in that assesses their stress and they are on a 7 to a 10 level stress, 10 being panic, 7 being overwhelm, nervous, if you will, 8 overwhelm, 9 would be anxiety. We take and we drive anti-stress protocols into the body during the day to give them bandwidth and an ability to breathe off and think through how they're going to respond in this next stressful situation. So I love the concept of health and wellness. This is stuff that I practice every day. It's really a lot of fun. It's like a puzzle, and we teach people day in and day out how to find root level behavioral programs. Find to the root, heal the cell. Identify where your metabolic roadblocks are, build a core lifestyle, structure the habits day in and day out consistently over time, and erase, in this case, muscle tightness, anxiety, fatigue, brain fog. It's easy. It really is. It's simple, in this case, easy. Intracellular fueling protocols, how to feed your body like true champions do. Not Wheaties. Sorry, not Gatorade. Doesn't work that way. Optimal timing, mineral understanding, clinical strategies to optimize your daily energy reserve. Join our designed clinical nutrition master's class, Designed to Thrive, at drchopwellness.com. Our master's class is going to blow your mind. Pull your phone out, QR code this big old QR code, and guess what's about to happen? You're literally going to be blessed with new information that will change how you feel about the world around you. You're more in control than you realize. I could talk about health and wellness day in and day out, and frankly, I do. I mean, I've been doing these classes for over a year now, every Monday night, chock full with great data, and then we try to chalk them into smaller sound bites so that it doesn't overwhelm people. But the reality is I give all this stuff to you. If you need help, come to our office. Let us help you with the education you need. Let us teach you how to detox. Let us teach you the practices that work and have worked for me for 21 years. Recipes, nutritional guidance, what to know about inflammatory foods, what to do with 4 deadly food additives, how to motivate and encourage yourself day in and day out, and not to live so strict, but to live in such a way that you walk past the junk food more often than whenever you used to live on your own, doing whatever you wanted to do, as you wanted to do it, getting the symptoms and results that you got. We got to change the game. So again, live trainings, follow us on all the major social media platforms, and know that in the master's class, it's going to revolutionize how you think and how your body works. And if you're interested in diving deeper, become a patient, justlivewell.com. You can come to our clinic and see one of our staff. We have trained staff that love people, that serve people well, and we're excited about seeing the next version of you in your best next step forward. Remember, Dr. Chapa loves you. And we'll see you every week, 7 p.m. on Monday night on this station and more. Follow us on all the major social media platforms. We appreciate you sharing, liking, and getting this material into your friends, family, and loved ones' hands. May the Lord bless you forever. We'll check you on the flip side. See ya.